A very good afternoon to all our viewers and welcome to a new edition of Cairo Local Time, where we bring you all the latest news and events taking place here inside Egypt. Of course, today we have a lot in store for you. We have the latest in the political, economic and social arenas, as well as tourism, technology and entertainment. So do stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after the short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still with you on this edition of Cairo Local Time, and let's start with the latest news. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi attended the concluding ceremony of the National Youth Conference in Aswan. Earlier, the president inaugurated the conference on Upper Egyptian development in the presence of 1,300 young people from Upper Egyptian governorates, which is being held in one of the city's hotels amid tight security measures. The conference focuses on the challenges facing Upper Egypt, including ways to develop the economy and tourism in the region, and it also discussed the social and political empowerment of young people. Let's take a look at this report and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi launched on Friday a youth conference on Upper Egyptian development taking place in the city of Aswan. The two-day gathering brought together 1,300 young people from Upper Egyptian governorates and was held in one of the city's hotels amid tight security measures. The meeting was attended by President el-Sisi and a number of MPs and ministers. The conference tackles challenges facing Upper Egypt, including ways to develop the economy and tourism in the region. Later on the day, the president attended a discussing session with a number of Egyptian youth that discussed means to face the economic challenges and the implementation of new projects for youth in the year 2017 in Upper Egypt. President el-Sisi's office said earlier this week that the conference will also focus on social and political empowerment among young people. The decision to hold regular youth conferences was made at the first annual National Youth Conference in October. In October, over 3,000 young people from a number of the country's universities and political parties attended the National Youth Conference in the Sinai resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh. The first monthly follow-up conference was held in December. After the conference, President el-Sisi inaugurated on Friday the new Aswan Public Hospital, which has 15 outpatient clinics. The establishment of the new six-floor hospital cost 140 million Egyptian pounds, in addition to the 155 million cost of equipping the hospital. On Wednesday, when el-Sisi arrived in the city, the president shook hands with a group of tourists on the streets of Aswan and later joined a group of young people who were watching Egypt play Ghana in the African Cup of Nations tournament.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and still bringing you the latest news on Cairo Local Time. Egyptian authorities opened the Rafah border crossing with Gaza on Saturday for 4 days to allow the passage of humanitarian aid. The crossing in northern Sinai, which will be open for traffic in both directions, is the only way for the 1.8 million Palestinians living in Gaza to enter and exit the Strip. Gaza has been under Israeli siege since 2006. Since October 2014, the crossing has been closed by Egyptian authorities due to security concerns, though Cairo periodically opens the border temporarily to allow civilians with foreign passports, Palestinian students and those with medical needs to travel back and forth. And a two-day conference on Arab-U.S. relations in light of the new U.S. government will be held by the American University in Cairo, the AUC, in collaboration with the Middle East Institute of Washington, D.C., starting on Sunday. In a press release, the AUC said the objective of the event is to look for a way forward and to offer guidelines for decision makers for future action with concrete and creative suggestions on how to restore a solid Arab-American relationship that serves both the U.S. and the Arab world in the years to come. Former Foreign Minister and Dean of the School of Global Affairs and Public Policy at the AUC, Nabil Fahmy, along with Wendy Chamberlain, the former U.S. Ambassador and President of the Middle East Institute in Washington, will be inaugurating the event. And with more news, the 48th round of the Cairo International Book Fair was officially inaugurated by the Prime Minister Sharif Ismail. The annual event runs for 2 weeks through February, from 10th of February till the 10th of February, which will bring together 670 publishers from 35 Arab, African and other countries. This year's edition hosts Morocco as the guest of honor. Let's take a look at this report and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Prime Minister Sharif Ismail inaugurated the 48th round of the annual Cairo International Book Fair amid an economic crisis that decreased the number of Egyptian publishers. Held under the slogan of Youth and Future Culture, the region's largest and oldest book fair, which runs through February 10th this year, includes 35 countries, 16 from the Arab world, 6 from Africa and 13 from other parts of the world, a total of 670 publishing houses. There will be 100 less Egyptian publishers than last year, reflecting the economic crisis that the industry is suffering from after the prices of printing material, such as paper and ink, doubled following Egypt's floating of the currency last November. This year, the fair has chosen the renowned Egyptian poet Salah Abdel Sabur, one of Egypt's most influential contemporary poets, as the first person of the year. Last year, Egyptian novelist Gamal al-Ghitani was chosen as the person of the year. Morocco has been chosen as this year's guest of honor, with the theme of the year being Youth and the Culture of the Future. China has been showing a growing interest in Egyptian cultural life, and the first Chinese literary magazine was released in October 2016 for a very low price. This year, 25 Chinese writers, poets and artists will participate in the fair. However, this year will only see 670 publishers, 451 Egyptian, 200 Arabs, 13 international and 6 from African countries. The head of the General Egyptian Book Organization, the official organizer of the fair, Haitham Al-Haj Ali, vowed to crack down on publishers who violate copyrights and publish unauthorized books. The fair is open daily from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. for book selling and until 9 p.m. for cultural events. Tickets are sold in front of the fairgrounds for £1
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now we bring you our tourism magazine, where President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met with a group of tourists in Egypt's southern city of Aswan and watched a football match with a group of young people in the city. The president traveled to Aswan to attend a 2-day monthly youth conference that will kick off in the upper Egyptian city and has wrapped up today. We have more details on the president's visit in Aswan in the tourism magazine with Nile TV's Habib Metwali. Stay tuned.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi spent the 6th anniversary of the January 25th revolution in Aswan with First Lady Intisar al-Sisi. Egypt's first couple was all smiles as they rode a horse carriage along the city Corniche Road. President al-Sisi met with a group of tourists in Egypt's southern city of Aswan, and he took the opportunity to pose for photos with a group of tourists in a gracious show of hospitality. Al-Sisi also watched a football match with a group of young people in the city. The head of state traveled to Aswan to attend a 2-day monthly youth conference that will kick off in the upper Egyptian city on Friday. Al-Sisi official Facebook page released late on Wednesday a video of the president shaking hands and chatting with a group of what appeared to be Asian tourists. Photographs of the president watching an African Nations Cup match between Egypt and Ghana with a group of young people were also released online. This month's youth conference will tackle challenges facing Upper Egypt, including ways to develop the economy and tourism of the region. Al-Sisi's office said earlier this week that it would also focus on social and political empowerment among youth. Some 1,300 young people from upper Egyptian governorates will take part in the event. The first of such monthly gatherings was held in December. The decision to hold regular meetings was announced by the president in October as one of the takeaways of the first annual National Youth Conference held that month. Egyptian Minister of Antiquities Khalid Al-Anani inaugurated Thursday evening the Egypt, the Cradle of Religions temporary exhibition in the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir. The exhibition comes as part of the ministry's framework to organize a series of temporary exhibitions in an attempt to raise culture and archaeological awareness. Ilham Salah, the head of the museum's department at the Ministry of Antiquities, said that the exhibition put on show a collection of 57 artifacts that were carefully selected from the Egyptian Museum, the Coptic Museum, and the Museum of Islamic Art. The exhibition aims to shed light on religion in Egypt since ancient times, from the monotheistic era of King Akhenaten to the appearance of Judaism and Christianity in addition to Islam. Among the objects on display are the terracotta head of the oldest ancient Egyptian deity discovered in Bani Salama, the statue of priest Hatib Diyaf from the 3rd ancient Egyptian dynasty, a relief of King Akhenaten and his family worshipping the god Aten, and a relief of the goddess Isis and the god Harpocrat from the Greco-Roman era. Wooden boxes that were used as holders of the Torah and religious silver pots are also among the objects on display, as well as icons depicting the Virgin Mary and Jesus during their voyage to Egypt, and a copy of the Holy Quran and silver Islamic era chandelier decorated with foliage ornaments. 6 Islamic era lamps recently recovered after being stolen from Cairo Al-Rafah Mosque will be on a special display within the exhibition, as well as items that were recently seized in the Egyptian ports before they could be smuggled abroad.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still joining you on today's edition of Cairo Local Time, and I'm delighted to be joined this afternoon in the studio by my guest, Dr. Sherif El-Khoureibi, the economic expert. Dr. Sherif, thank you very much, sir, for joining us this afternoon.
You are welcome.
First and foremost, let's talk a bit about today's National Youth Conference. We've just witnessed President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's concluding speech. He just delivered the concluding session of the National Youth Conference. First and foremost, Dr. Sherif, what is the importance, in your opinion, of holding such an annual National Youth Conference, especially with regards to solving the youth's economic problems?
I think it's going to be monthly.
Yes, monthly, of course.
Yes. So I think, of course, when His Excellency the President met with youth from all governorates, from all geographical areas of our country, it means he, first of all, he wants to show them that he is very close to them. He understands their needs. He understands their ambitions to participate in political operation, and also to participate in economic growth by having chances either through small and medium scale industries, or through participating in, or I mean joining the big giant projects which now is covering all geographical areas in Egypt. It's very important to go to Aswan. Last month he was in Port Said. Also in October he was in Sharm el-Sheikh. I'm expecting that he will be next month maybe in one of North Egypt governorates like Dakahliya or Alexandria or whatever. So it's very, very important. Why? Because the future of the country is this youth, which we are, of course, all of us, our plan is to make them open-minded, is to make them away of any fundamental attitude, is to make them believe and optimistic about the future of their country and the future of themselves. Also to give them the opportunity to know the hot subjects from the top of the country, from the president himself. So if anyone who has a question or he want to clarify something, he, of course, the president is the right person to talk to.
Indeed, the president also touched on this issue today, the issue of fundamentalism and the issue of steering clear of this very, very dangerous path, which a lot of youth could fall trap to. In your opinion, Dr. Sharif, how important is it to empower the youth, not just economically, but also politically? Political awareness is very critical, especially in our hope to build this, the new Egypt and the Egyptian future.
Of course, to empower the youth in political side, I think already His Excellency, you know, the initiation related the 2,500 leaders, which started more than 1 year ago. And this is, you know, the first group and for covering the all geographical area or governorates of Egypt. So political empowerment for youth, it started already more than 1 year ago. But we need also not to depend on this initiation only, but we need from the governors themselves, for each governorate, to do something like a monthly meeting with the youth. It is not necessary to be in the capital of the governorate only, but he should go to each city of the governorate to talk with the youth over there. You know, the problem in the past, it was that youth, they were talking and talking and talking, and the officials like governorates or whatever, they were in another side, they don't listen, they don't know even. Now, it is very important to have such sessions of brainstorming sessions, because the most important thing to develop the political thinking is to sit with the people which is have experience, like the governorate, like the heads of all activities like medical sector in the governorate, education sector or whatever, the deputy ministers for each sector in each governorate, and youth, they will sit with them and they will make for each month one case to be discussed and to be developed, and what is if there is a problem, okay, what is the reasonable solutions for this problem? If there is no problem, so how we can develop this sector from their point of view as a youth.
Dr. Sharif, how do you see the youth's reception to, for example, this youth conference, to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's speech for them? He also made several promises and pledges today. For example, 14 billion Egyptian pounds were allocated for the building of new housing units, for example, in Upper Egypt. These are, at the end of the day, very big concerns for the Egyptian youth. At the end of the day, they want to graduate, get a good job, and be able to have a home. Exactly.
Yes.
So how important is that, in your opinion, and the direct communication between the president and the youth in Upper Egypt regarding these important issues?
Okay, before looking at the discussion today, our president, His Excellency, he fulfilled all of his promises, all, even more. Since he started about 3 years ago, he promised that he's going to solve the residential problem for the youth, I mean for young men. Also to solve the problem of unemployment through develop what we are calling now economic areas, not industrial, economic areas, like what we just mentioned also today or launched today. Also, he promised to, through the program of small, medium, and micro scale industries, he already I mean, the finance for this project, we are talking about 200 billion Egyptian pounds. This initiation from His Excellency about 1.5 years ago, and he's coming. So the idea is, when we are discussing with our political leaders ideas and projects we are expecting to happen in the future, we should look at the past. Did he promise and fulfill his promises? The answer is yes. So when and even you can say how, you know, the discussion was interactive. The youth, they were talking like they are talking with their father. And His Excellency, he was extremely open-minded, always smiling. So it's a matter of trust. I think the youth of Egypt now, they have a trust of their leader. So they are sure 100% what it has been promised today, related projects, either residential or economic development or agriculture related. You know, His Excellency also promised that he's going to give part of 1.5 million acre to be also allocated for the south of Egypt area. So I think they believe in him, and as His Excellency believing in the future of Egypt, I mean believing in the youth of Egypt. So it's a matter of interactive, and I can see very clear from His Excellency side or from youth side, each side they love the other side and they trusted the other side.
Dr. Sharif, I also want to speak to you a bit quickly about the reception of such a youth conference internationally. First and foremost, this time around it was held in Aswan, one of the most beautiful cities and touristic destinations in Egypt. The president also said that he's given his directives for Aswan to become tourist and cultural capital in Africa and the world. How important is it to shed light? At the end of the day, tourism is a major economic force for Egypt and for the Egyptian youth as employment opportunities in the tourism sector. So how important is it to shed light on such important cities in the country, in your opinion, Doctor?
You see, our president, he doesn't make any move without, you know, putting a strategic plan. The first youth conference, it was in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Again, another tourist destination.
It was at one of the biggest touristic destinations in Egypt. Now we are in Aswan. And, you know, when he, you know, moved with the First Lady in Egypt, I mean, His Excellency wife yesterday, using this tradition car with a horse, al-Hamtour, and it was, I can see, and even I read in many international news, how, you know, they are saying how the Egyptian president now is coming very close and close to his people, and how the situation in Egypt now is coming 100% stable. So he says he's sending a message to the whole world. Please come to Aswan, as he made it for Sharm el-Sheikh.
And it's a family.
I myself am moving with my family. Indeed. And everything is peaceful.
Dr. Sharif El-Khoraibi, the economic expert, I'd like to thank you very much, sir, for joining us this afternoon on this edition of Cairo.
You are welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Doctor. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up today's edition of Cairo Local Time. My name is Angie Mahimani. Thanks for watching.